feels so weird.
Because I'm sitting here?
No, because I'm standing at a podium. All right, guys. I usually this is one of the huge powers of the mastermind. So I got approached by our local newspaper about an opportunity to do some advertising with them and be involved in a senior expo. What do they call it? It's the Prime Senior Expo targeted to people over 50. So that's our key demographic. And last year we did a health fair, and so lots of different people were there. Everything from roofing companies and gutters to 55 and older communities, ton of those there, nursing facilities, lots of orthopedic surgeons and from the huge orthopedic surgery groups that are around us. We, as far as I know, were the only, yeah, we were definitely the only independent physical therapist that was there. But the reason I signed up for it, it was a lot of money. It was like $3,500 to be at the health fair, and it was at a casino. So lots of our key demographic at the casino. But it was $3,500 then, and they gave us a speaking spot. So that's really the only reason why I did it. Is I had a speaking spot. My daughter's trying to jump in the picture. So they had a speaking spot. So anytime someone asked me to speak, like I go. Usually I get it for free. This was $3,500, but what it did is it forced us to get better at doing health fairs and expos. Like Robbie crushes these things. I think Arlen has done a couple of them. I'll post the link to the book, but Ultimate Sales Machine, that guy is awesome at explaining how to do a really good job and shows how you can do a really crappy job and not get your money's worth. But anyway, we spoke. We were by far the highest attended speaking gig. This was orthopedic surgeons and doctors, and we had the highest number of people attend, I think because of the title of my talk. So it was How to Get Your Body to Last 110 Years. So kind of a fantastic title. Got a lot of people there. There was over 150 people that watched me talk, and we got a lot of leads off of it. At that time, I wasn't doing a really great job of lead follow. Now we're doing a much better job. So they came back in today, and they said, yeah, that went pretty well. So instead of $3,500, that's going to $6,500. So I had kind of a decision to make if I wanted to do it. And what they did is they threw in a lot of other stuff. They said, okay, it's $6,500, but you can get up to $6,500 of ad spend in our newspaper for free, essentially. So meaning you'll get a credit for that. So I essentially get $13,000 worth of exposure for $6,500. So the things that they kind of threw at me is we can do inserts in the newspaper. So this is the main reason why I throw this out. So I typically would throw this out to the founders in NLPT, but they said, hey, why don't you throw it in the Facebook group and see what people can come up with. So this is one thing that a local hospital did. So it's essentially like this is very much like our newsletter. We do an insert and have lots of different sections in it, but you can insert this in the newspaper. So what kind of ads or interest can we generate? I was talking to Arlen today about how he has been moving back to pushing the information. So he still does a lot of work with newspapers, but he's also pushing Facebook ads to information and then just kind of getting a lead. So instead of pushing a Facebook ad to, hey, show up for my workshop, which sometimes that can be, your audience can burn out doing that, it's pushing to information like free report, 7 things you can do to eliminate the pain that's associated with arthritis. And then they get the lead, they get put into an Infusionsoft sequence, they get calls, sales calls, and if you have the right people doing that, it can be very effective. So what piece of content can I put in this centered around the fact that it's going to be mostly a 50 and older community that we're pushing to try to get people to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in what you have to offer. So I'm developing 110 program. So I have a talk that's popular. It's how to get your spine to last 110 years, and I teach you the 3 things you have to know in order to do that. And it's a little bit different take on a low back pain workshop, and we've gotten a lot of great response out of that. So I'm trying to find out what can I do to get the most out of the $6,500 between now and June. So it's June 16th, I believe, is the workshop or the 55 and older expo is. Other things that I get is I get a blast email to, let's see. Okay, that's morningcall.com, impressions on their website. I'm not super thrilled about that. It's 150,000 impressions, but those numbers are usually inflated. A email blast that goes out to 50,000 people. And I'd say, well, cold email is tough. So that's not super valuable to me. I said, what's your open rate on those emails? And he said 12%, which 12% open rate on a cold email is incredible. So the audience is pretty good, unless he's just giving me a line of crap and it's not really a 12% open rate, but I think I can research that. So that's what I'm getting. I'm wondering if you guys have any ideas or anything that you have done that has been really successful in terms of print advertising, because I get essentially $6,500 of print advertising, which can go half-page ads, full-page ads. But I'm really interested in this insert. I've never done an insert in a newspaper. I've done stick-it campaigns where you put a sticker on the front of the newspaper and it kind of drives them to an article inside. I've had okay results with that, but not great. So if you guys have any great ideas about what we can do in between now and June 16th, we're trying to just get a lot of people excited to come to that talk. And I still haven't decided what I want to do the talk on. Last year was really successful, so it's going to be hard for me to move off of that. But if you guys have any ideas about something that would work inside of that, one thing I was thinking of just doing how to get your body to last 110 years, and I get about 40 minutes of speaking time. So I could have each of my therapists come and take like 5 minutes out and kind of say, all right, here's our knee specialist, and they're going to teach you 3 things that you can do right now, and kind of give them limited information and say, if you want more information on this, come sign up for our free online course or free whatever, our free knee pain bulletproof guide to getting rid of your knee pain. My wife is right here and she's saying that it's time to cut it off. She's probably right. And then just going down the line and then just kind of generating a ton of excitement, and then say, hey, come back to our booth. The whole idea, I've got to get these 150 people to come back to my booth to sign up for something, because people kind of walk by the booth and you don't get a lot of engagement. You have to kind of track them down. But that's what I'm working on. So if you guys have any ideas about that, post them below. I'm excited to see what NLPT Nation comes up with to help me out with this project. And hopefully you learn a little bit about this project so that if you're approached with this in the future by your local newspaper, you'll have some insight. Thanks. See you.